Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is 3-Chord Dave, and today we are going to talk about fake guitars. So while we're here, please hit that subscribe button and the like button and all the buttons. Press all the buttons, and later on when this video is over, watch another one, because I'm trying to grow this channel here. So a couple of things for you today. Now this right here in my hand, as I've mentioned before, is a Gibson, a fake Gibson from China, and it's pretty. It looks nice. It looks like if I went into a guitar store and wanted this guitar, I would be paying $2,500 or more $1,000. And today I wanted to show you, just in case you are untrained and don't know how to spot a fake, just so that pretty much you don't get ripped off. Now there are a few things that stand out to me immediately looking at this guitar that tell me that it's a fake, but to you, or it's someone who doesn't know what a fake is or how to spot a fake, it can be quite difficult. So let's go through it. And I've also got a little bit of footage with this guitar beside my authentic Gibson SG. An SG and a Les Paul are slightly different, so there will be things that don't match up there anyway. But I thought we would just go through it. So the first thing, and I'll show you this here, it's in the headstock. Of course it's in the headstock. That's where you're going to see the difference. And there's a big giveaway in the headstock that we can tell. Now the Gibson logo generally looks okay from a distance, but when you get closer to it, you can see it's a bit messy. It hasn't been done particularly well. Now the Gibson headstock, which is the mother of pearl headstock logo, I should say, is it can look a little bit untidy, but one giveaway is the O in Gibson, and on this guitar it's very untidy and kind of closed, whereas it should be a clear opening, and it should look like somebody actually meant to draw an O. Also the gap in the B should be a little bit different, and the G, where the G meets the I, is very untidy here as well. But one big giveaway, if you look at it here, is the G. The G ever so slightly leans forward over towards the rest of the lettering, ever so slightly. It should be very straight. So that's something to keep an eye out for as well. If we remain on the front of the guitar, we come down to the nut. Now the nut's one of the big giveaways as well, but it's one of those things that can be changed out by somebody who has a little bit of knowledge and is trying to trick you, maybe if they're trying to sell you a guitar off Craigslist or something like that. So these Gibsons come with very plasticky nuts. Stop laughing at that. You're not a 14-year-old child, hopefully. So yeah, very plasticky, feels kind of I don't even know, like it's just very cheap plastic, whereas on a real nut you should kind of feel a texture, like you can scratch it and it makes it sound, and you can see there's quite a visible difference as well. It's not shiny like this is. People will tell you as well the fret ends on the sides here should have binding on them, because the binding should go over like the fret nibs there at the end. Yes and no. Not all Gibsons have binding on the fret nibs, but yeah, a lot of them do. So that's something to look out for. I will also say Gibsons, fake Gibsons, are getting more and more like the real deal. 5 to 10 years ago, you could spot them a mile away. Now they're becoming more and more difficult to spot. So keeping an eye on some of these details is very worthwhile. So let's keep looking down the body of the guitar here for other telltale signs so that you don't get ripped off. Now, you will see on some Gibsons, anything plastic is more yellowy than it should be, and is always not the right size. So these pickup rings, for example, they're wider, as would be the case on an Epiphone. They're a little bit wider than a Gibson counterpart would be. And that is usually a telltale sign. Now that's something that you would only really know to check, or know how to check, know how to see, if you were very familiar with Epiphones and Gibsons. The bridge though is something you can check and quite easily tell, and what you can see here, this is called a slotted bridge. And you can see here, it just looks like a flathead screw. Gibsons have like a different thing where you can put in a pin and twist it. Some of them will also have like an Allen key adjustment, whereas this one, if you see, like it's just a screw there. Now that is, of course, something that can be changed out quite easily, but most people don't bother. So if they're trying to scam you, it's that's how you know. Okay, it's a big giveaway. One of the first things I look at when I'm trying to look at a second-hand Gibson. So for the front of the guitar, some people, I mean, I think this is one of the things they're getting better at. Some people will say that the stopped tailpiece is closer to the closest knob on a Gibson and be further away, like a little bit further down on a Gibson. But that is something that I think they're getting more correct nowadays. So just be careful on that one. If it's some Gibsons, yes, the bridge will be further down than on an authentic one. Some of them nowadays, though, they are correcting that mistake. But here's a good telltale sign that they haven't gotten to, and I can show you this here. But also I have some better up-close footage as well, which I will show you in a cutaway. On the Gibson headstock here, how it's made is they have a thin piece of mahogany and then they glue two wings onto the side, all the way, just right on the side here, two little wings. The reason they do it is so that they can use like a whole piece of mahogany for the neck and all the way up, and then the headstock would be like this much thinner. But they want to continue the whole open book vibe, so they glue the two wings on. It's great, works well, you know, looks great, everybody likes it. But with the Gibsons, like this one, they don't have wings, because what they do generally is this part of the headstock is scarf jointed onto the neck, and then possibly a veneer is put onto it to cover it up, which I'm pretty sure I can see that there's a join here, which is possibly two types of veneer. They've definitely tried to cover up any joints and stuff like that on the whole guitar. Now, is this guitar a bad guitar? No, it plays actually pretty well. But just be aware of what you're buying is the thing, because there are people out there in these uncertain times and they're trying to make money. And they can buy a Gibson or fake Gibson, if you will, for a little more than $200 and sometimes less than that. And they come like that. If they wanted to put on some change, like change the bridge and the nut, it would be a few, I mean, you're going to spend less than $200 to do that as well. So keeping an eye on the G being slightly forward, leaning slightly forward, the wings on the headstock, those two things can't be changed. So keep an eye on those, as they're very important, even if the other parts are changed. And also, if you take a look in the truss rod, under the truss rod cover, you'll see that there's, and I'll show a picture here of the what it should look like essentially, and what it shouldn't look like. The other thing is underneath the cavity, the control cavity at the back, you'll see like cheap wiring, no branding on the potentiometers, pots as they're called, and then also you'll see like these cheap white connectors rather than like bumblebee caps or the Gibson harnesses, which again I'll show pictures of what a Gibson harness should look like right here, and we'll be able to then hopefully know a fake Gibson when we see them. So guys, if you're in the market for a Gibson or a Fender or any kind of guitar where you're going to spend some serious money on it, there's nothing wrong with buying secondhand. Just know what you're buying and make sure that you know what you're buying. If you want, and anytime, anybody who watches this video, you feel free to contact me through the channel to get me some detailed photos, and I'll check out whether it's an authentic or a fake for you. But there's nothing better than holding in your hands and going through these things yourself. Also, buy from a reputable dealer if you can. Of course, you might get better deals secondhand, so it's always worth checking them out as well. But guys, I hope this video has been helpful for you. I hope if you're out there buying secondhand guitars, you do get a good deal and you do get the real deal as well. So thanks again for checking out the video. I hope you are safe and well out there, and I'll see you soon on the next one. Take care.